Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, aligning your pets. We visit a Suncoast Chiropractic team who is working to give these animals a better outlook for the future. See the difference it's making for more than just your average house pet. Plus, we tackle some tough questions with psychic Michael Bodine, like how soon is too soon to get another animal after losing one of your beloved pets. And we meet a work in progress, how Dante's den trainers are doing what they can to give this dog a renewed quality of life. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. Chiropractic care is defined as a system of therapy focused on the structure of the body, particularly for the spine. And it's not just for humans. So we met up with a team who have some very cute and furry clients. We wanted to learn more about how this approach may help heal your pet from the inside out.
So we have Allie here, and Allie is with Canines for Heroes. It's a PTSD service dog organization where they pair up a service dog with, people in the military that are retired. And Allie is in her later years here, but she has some issues that we've been maintaining. She's been doing really well. A lot of it is based around the back end. A lot of her issues come from the back end. She deals with some stiffness, so things like getting in and out of the car, up and down off the couch, things like that. She responds really well to the adjustments. She has some spots that get a little grumpy for her, but when we take care of those, she usually has a lot better extension in the back end, which helps her out a lot, okay? So when both sides are affected like that, a lot of times what we're thinking is this could be coming from the spine right here in the middle, or even down in the pelvis, in the center of everything, when both sides are affected like that.
You've decided to not only handle humans, but to benefit animals.
Absolutely.
What made you think about that?
That's a great question. So I used to want to be a veterinarian, and I had actually done a couple experiences where I shadowed different vets, and I just was really drawn towards some alternative methods of healing and helping animals. So I decided that track wasn't ideal for me, and I thought there has to be another way that I can help animals. So I did some volunteering at shelters while I was in school, and then when my husband started chiropractic school, I was like, wow, this is awesome, and I discovered animal chiropractic, so it's kind of the best of both worlds for me. Okay, sweetie, good job. You ready? Mm-hmm. Very nice, honey. Very good. So if you see her little teeth, so do you see how these ones aren't quite lining up in the center? These ones are shifted over a little bit to the right. Cowgirl's been struggling with a TMJ issue for a little while, so we're gonna get that adjusted for her, and she does really well. Hi, baby. There we go, good. Wow, I know. Can I recheck that? Oh, very good. Much better, sweetie. Yay, all done.
Which animals are you favoring at this point?
You know, we see a lot of dogs, and they're always fun, but cats too, and I used to have a chinchilla that we would adjust, and a rabbit, so always fun to see different animals, but I do love to see horses too, and get out to the barns and see some large animals. Okay, so a little bit of difficulty jumping?
Yeah, she just doesn't really do it. Like, I don't know if she can't or she just chooses not to.
So ever?
Yeah.
What I might think would be difficult with the animals is how do they tell you what hurts? Because we as humans can walk in here half crippled and say, oh, this hurts, that hurts, whatever. How do they tell you?
Yeah, that's another great question. So we do a lot of gait analysis. So we actually watch them walk, and we record a video, and then we slow it down so we can see some discrepancies in the way that they move that can indicate where their primary problem is.
And what we did is we zoomed in because her primary complaint was in the front left leg here. and we were trying to, oh, thank you, sweetie. We were trying to decide whether or not it was the wrist, the elbow, or the shoulder itself that was causing most of the issue. So what we notice here is that whenever she goes to extend and put weight on that front left, I know she wants, she loves the attention. She's just giving all the love. Hi, sweetie, I know. So whenever she's doing this here, what we notice is that her front left, she goes to put weight on it, and it doesn't extend all the way back. So just like people, if we put weight on our hand like that, our wrist should extend back. Hers should do that right here, and we see it stays pretty straight. Very good, sweetie, very good. Let me do one more here, ready? You got the elbow, perfect. 1, 2, 3. Awesome, sweetie, very good. Okay, let's recheck, ready? So if we push up on the foot here, let's see. She's extending a little better. Let's recheck whenever she puts her own weight on it.
We also do some static palpations. We use our hands to feel for things like muscle tone changes, swelling. We even look for things like blemishes or any areas that could indicate that there's a little bit of inflammation, which can all hone us in, just little pieces of evidence to find their true issue. It'd be nice if they could talk to us, though.
It would, wouldn't it, though? That would kind of give you a clue.
Yes, we really have to hone in our skills and just be really in tune with them to pick up on little cues of ways that they're communicating with us or communicating with their owner, too.
Very good. That was so easy. Yes.
When you're working with the animal, do they realize at some point, oh, they're trying to help me?
Yeah.
Because I haven't been able to tell them
Yeah.
what's wrong.
Yeah. So sometimes when we adjust, we look for little indicators of a good sensation. So whether their eyes get really big, they might perk their ears up, they might lick a little bit, they kind of turn around and they'll almost have a little grin on their face and wag their tail.
I know, she's mumbling. She's talking to us. So that sunk right down in there. That was a really big one there for her. So that's really good.
Sometimes it can be a little bit tender in the beginning, just like if we as people have a sore spot and we go pressing on it, sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable. So once we get past that point of discomfort, then they're kind of like, oh, hey, I'm getting better. And they just love to come in and see us. So yeah, we do kind of reach that transition point in care.
So this is a good place for
Yeah,
them.
this is a good place, yes.
Yeah. Which part of the body would you say that you need to work on the most? Is it the hips? Because that's what we think.
Yeah, with animals or people?
Animals.
So definitely in animals, we see a lot of issues right in the transition between their mid back and their low back. We kind of call it the whiplash zone. So whenever they're jumping and leaping off of things, or even when they get on and off the couch, on and off the bed, they can get a little repetitive whiplash in one certain part of their spine, and it can get really damaged over time. So that's a really high probability of a spot that pops up pretty often. Also in the pelvis is really huge. Yep. Just the way that they run and all that kind of good stuff.
How long is an average session?
An average session, it kind of depends. So the very first visit is typically between 45 minutes to an hour. We do a really deep dive into their care, find out exactly what's going on with their history, how long they've had any issues. If it's wellness, it's a little bit of a different story. But a typical visit after that is usually around 15 minutes.
Now, does the owner stay with the pet?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. They're there the whole time. They can give them love and kisses while we get them adjusted, and we try to keep them very involved.
Yeah, as they push their pet right off the table and they get on, right?
Right. We do have one room that's a little transition room for them. So we try to make it as easy as possible for people to come in, get their pet adjusted, and then get adjusted right after.
And we know you work on the dogs and the cats and horses, I do believe.
All the way up in her pelvis, she really pops that right hip out to the side. You might be able to see just kind of, she swings it out and it pops out to the side. It's due to instability in the back end. So that's what we're going to target today. This will be her first adjustment, so we don't always imagine that we can get this fixed after one adjustment, but essentially what we want to see is after we adjust, how does the walking change, and we can adapt what we're doing based on that. With horses, they have really shallow pelvis, so the angle is really, really shallow here. And what's led to some irritation right at the base of the tail could be coming all the way down from the foot, or it could be taking place in the pelvis here. But we see a big pocket of swelling right here. And this swelling just is an indicator that there's a lot of pressure in on the spine there. And we just need to take that into consideration and say, okay, well, do we need to adjust the tail? Do we need to adjust the pelvis up here? Do we need to adjust all the way down here in the hock and stifle? It just depends on what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this adjusted first up top, and then we'll move our way down if needed there, okay?
We know that you're here and your husband is here and you're here to help our pets. But if you were to say to a new owner, this is what you should do to prevent some of these things from happening as they get older, what would they be?
So, I mean, misalignments can be present for up to 10 years before noticing any symptoms in people. For animals, it's even shorter because their lifespan is shorter. So some of the issues that we can prevent by getting on top of those misalignments right away is like limping or severe arthritis, degeneration, but also more function-based things too. So only 10% of what your nervous system carries is pain. The other 90% is coordinating all of the functions in your body. So your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your food digesting. So we see a lot of cases of like ear infections and allergies that can come from lack of proper nervous system communication. So I would say just getting started at any point can really prevent a lot of those function-based issues too down the line.
And do you feel that with education, because we owners need to be educated, you will be helping many more animals as the years come? Education
is the number one thing, and the term doctor actually means teacher in Latin. So our primary focus is really to educate and be that specialist in our community to help people understand what the process is like for true health and healing in their lives and in their pets' lives. So that's really the role that we're hoping to achieve by being here.
To learn more about chiropractic care for your animal, you can go to trilogychiropracticcare.com. Coming up next on Animal Outtakes, meet the latest Breaking Barriers project at Dante's Den Foundation. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Mr. Benson. Your breakfast is served.
Time for another day in doggy paradise. I sure am one lucky pup.
Mr. Benson, would you like to go out for your morning stroll? The weather is quite lovely today.
That sounds wonderful. Don't mind if I do. After all that exercise, I think I'd like to lounge by the pool and maybe dip my paws in.
As you wish, sir. Right this way.
Ah, what a perfect day. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else but Dante's Den while Mom and Dad are away.
At Dante's Den, we pride ourselves in providing the best experience for your beloved pup. Whether it be a day, a month, or a year, Dante's Den should always be at the top of your list for boarding. With an expansive campus, your dog will enjoy daily walks, pool time, and an endless supply of love. Even better, it's all under 24/7 supervision from our wonderful staff. If you're anything like us, your dog's safety and happiness come first. To learn more about Dante's Den, visit dantesden.org.
Did you know Moat is helping restore depleted snook populations and has raised and released 30,000 of them into local waterways so far? The more you know about everything Moat's doing to help our oceans, the more you'll understand why Moat matters. Visit moat.org today.
For 40 years, I'd been burying my emotions and all of the trauma.
I was grasping desperately for independence and hope. I found it with a tail and a cold nose.
I call him my battle buddy, because every time we're out in the public, he has my back.
Every time those demons start talking, he knows, and he's right there at my side. Mustang truly did save my life.
Every dolphin at Clearwater Marine Aquarium has an amazing tale. They're all rescues who have overcome challenges to survive and thrive. You'll be inspired by every animal story and unforgettable moments with them, including 2-year-old Apollo, our newest rescued dolphin. There's something inspirational for every kid and kid at heart. Your visit directly supports the animal care and rescue efforts at Clearwater Marine Aquarium, celebrating 50 years of amazing tales.
Did you know that Moat is leading the charge to fight Florida red tide by testing compounds that may lessen its harmful effects on the environment? The more you know about everything Moat's doing to help our oceans, the more you'll understand why Moat matters. Visit moat.org today.
Today I'd like to introduce you to a local celebrity. Her name is Penny. Penny is also called the Sarasota Mall Dog. For a little over a month, she was running loose behind the Sarasota Mall, into traffic across 41, and there was a great group of ladies that kept looking out for her and kept trying to get a hold of her to help her. Unfortunately, every time they would get near her, she would run. So they called the Animal Control Services. Animal Control, along with I would say, one of the local pizzerias, actually helped by feeding her every night so that she got accustomed to coming back to the same location. Animal Control was able to trap her and bring her back to Animal Services. So the young ladies that had assisted in looking for her were now looking to find a home where she could go and be helped. So she was deemed untouchable, right? And unadoptable by Animal Services. As you can see, she's a great little girl. She likes to play. She's just a little scared in the beginning, but now she's opened up to us here at Dante's Den and our entire staff. And she's a fantastic, fantastic little girl. Huh, Penny? She was set to be euthanized this last weekend. We were able to pick her up Monday morning. I had called, we set up a deal for me to pick her up Monday morning, and then we will rehab her. We put her through her paces. She had her heartworm test done. She is negative. She's had her parvo test done. She is negative. She's had a whole physical by one of our doctors here, Dr. Alta, and she's in great shape. She's super healthy, except for all the extra pizza weight that she's gained. Huh, girl? We tried to keep the stress level down since it's her first couple days here at Dante's. We want her to be as relaxed as possible. She was named Penny after J.C. Penney's because that's where she was found at. So we get phone calls about her all the time. How is she doing? Let me tell you what, she's doing great. I'd show you right now, but she's taking care of business. Oh, I think she knows she's getting more than another chance. Huh, everybody here at Dante's, the staff, they play with the dogs, they love the dogs. She is a food hound because she has not had a regular meal in, such a long time, so we're giving her a little bit of extra love and a little bit of extra attention. Her next home will be her forever home, huh, baby? She's a good dog. She will be adopted. She just needed somebody to care. And she was loved at one point, and now she'll be loved even more.
For more on Penny and other programs at Dante's Den Foundation, visit dantesden.org. Stay with us. There's more Animal Outtakes coming up after the break. Saying goodbye is never easy when it comes to a loyal companion. And for many of us, doubts creep in throughout the process. Questions arise about whether your four-legged friend will be there to greet you in the afterlife. And some may wonder how soon is too soon when getting another animal. It's a subjective topic, and there isn't just one right answer. But our curiosity has led us once again to a friend of Animal Outtakes, psychic Michael Bodine. We took the opportunity to ask him a few of our difficult questions. At Dante's Den, we have dogs for adoption. And this is really a very, very good procedure. But we get asked all the time, if a dog has passed in a family, How soon should I get another dog? Because you normally don't want to be without one. So from the dog's point of view,
right.
Is there guilt associated with this? I mean, you know, you've had a dog for 14, 15 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And they are your soulmates.
Soulmate City, yeah.
And they understand you because they've watched you for all of that time. Now
Yep.
you've got to start from scratch.
Right.
But when do you do this? Do you do this immediately? Do you wait? Is there a formula?
Right. Okay, so it's been my experience that like dogs, animals, they tend to be simpler and sweeter and more unconditional loving kind of things. So they're coming from a place of unconditional love. Not always, but mostly. And so when it comes to that kind of stuff, we tend to humanize what we think a dog would be thinking, when in actuality, it's pretty simple. They loved being with you, and they're a lot of times when they pass, they feel so much better because they have their energy back, and they're like a puppy, and they can run around, and they're happy, and they can see you, and they're just happy to be around you. It's really about the human, whether they're ready for another dog to replace what they had with that animal, because it was so intense and so strong. So the animal itself, they're just happy to be there. They can see you. They want to play. They see their other friends, you might say. But they would never go, oh great, I'm being replaced. You know,
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure. The reason I say that is because having had dogs most of my life, and I know there's some jealousy when you bring in another pet, but overall, they adjust pretty well. You know, they want, if you're happy, they tend to be happy. If you're sad, they feel bad. And there's been a lot of times when a person's just so overwrought with sadness that their pet's gone, that the dog itself, or whatever it is that passed, it doesn't want to leave because they feel so bad for the owner. And you can and the owner can feel that, and it's kind of like one of those things that just keeps going on. And as soon as the owner is ready to let go, that's when I think the pet is actually ready to let go. And that's when I think you get another pet. Like I had a husky dog. I don't ever want to get another husky. I don't care if it's very different from the one I had. When I lost it, it crushed me. And I just don't want to ever feel that again.
It took your heart.
Oh my God. I cried. I don't cry when it comes to that kind of stuff. I cried for a week. I couldn't stop crying.
Because that dog was your soulmate.
Oh my God, yeah. I just love this thing. And for that reason, I won't get another husky. But, you know, some people can handle their grief better by getting the same breed and kind of working through it. But not me. I'm not a deep guy.
Let's take this one step further, because we deal with very sick animals.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. And one of the things that we have to counsel parents with, and even for ourselves,
sure.
How long do we let the suffering go on? Do we let it go on too long for us?
Yeah.
Do we cut it short for them? And do they really tell us when they want to go?
Yeah, you know, it's really about the humans. Humans are...
We're tough.
Well, they're very selfish. We're a selfish breed, you know. I think a lot of times animals will let us know that they're ready to go. But with modern medicine and stuff, we can keep them alive for a long time. But they're not happy, you know. They like to run around. They like to have the energy. It's really about us willing to let them go. And it's a very, in my opinion, it's a very selfish thing to let an animal sit and suffer because you're not able to let that animal go. Think of the animal.
And we'll be right back.
Good morning, Mr. Benson. Your breakfast is served.
Time for another day in doggy paradise. I sure am one lucky pup.
Mr. Benson, would you like to go out for your morning stroll? The weather is quite lovely today.
That sounds wonderful. Don't mind if I do. After all that exercise, I think I'd like to lounge by the pool and maybe dip my paws in.
As you wish, sir. Right this way.
Ah, what a perfect day. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else but Dante's den while Mom and Dad are away.
At Dante's Den, we pride ourselves in providing the best experience for your beloved pup. Whether it be a day, a month, or a year, Dante's Den should always be at the top of your list for boarding. With an expansive campus, your dog will enjoy daily walks, pool time, and an endless supply of love. Even better, it's all under 24/7 supervision from our wonderful staff. If you're anything like us, your dog's safety and happiness come first. To learn more about Dante's Den, visit dantesden.org.
We leave you today with a special tribute to a very special manatee. Moat Marine Aquarium's beloved resident, Hugh, recently passed away. The 38-year-old manatee was born at the Miami Seaquarium and arrived at Moat from Zoo Tampa back in 1996. He has since served as an ambassador for his species, taking part in research studies throughout the years. Guests from all over the world have learned from watching him glide through his habitat, munching on his breakfast, lunch and dinner, all day long. And Hugh had a reputation for giving visitors a special nose smush, as you see here from so many social media posts. Moat officials say Hugh recently showed a change in behavior early one day and became unresponsive a short time later. They're unsure why he died, but expect a necropsy to give researchers answers in the coming weeks. From all of us here at Animal Outtakes, our hearts are broken, and we thank you, Hugh, and maybe, just maybe, you're swimming in the water somewhere over the rainbow.
Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org.
We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. And we'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some engaging encounters. Until then, thanks for watching.